But luckily enough, our upbringing was always around, once again, the European family. Yes. Work. You need to have work ethic. So from a young age, we were exposed to those environments.
You want to survive, you gotta work.
100%, yeah. But even when you are exposed to those environments, the second you step foot and do something for yourself, it's a whole different feeling. It's a whole different world. And
There's no going back.
It hits
There's
you.
no
There's no going back. Yeah. You can either stop,
today.
you can either give up, or you're going to take on that road and keep going forward.
Anthony, you have 5 restaurants. You are working on opening 3 more. You're 28 years old. Why? You probably look like 40 because business does that to you. Now, just joking. Why do you do what you do? Because you don't have to go hard. You can open 1 restaurant, have a cruisy potential life, but you got 5, opening 3 more. Why?
Why? It's a very good question.
And welcome to One Life Club.
Thank you.
Straight away.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much. Why is a very good question. I think that's sometimes a question I ask myself every couple of long weeks at a breaking point. But I think it always starts from within, deep down inside of you. Why do you do it? Ever since from a young age, I've always had this little feeling or fire, or a little hunger, a little motivation inside my gut that and today I still don't know what it is. But today I have a little bit more understanding of what it is. And a lot of people ask me every day, even my own siblings, why do you bother? Why aren't you happy with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? Why do you want to go? Where do you want to head to? It comes back down to the thing inside your gut. My gut as a kid, ever since I can remember. If you wanted an easier life, or if it was all about money or financial success, which is another topic we should probably discuss about, is that you quit from day one. The stress and the complications. If it was just about money, you would have given up from day dot. But I think it's pursuing that little feeling, little hunger inside your stomach, in your gut, I like to call it. And just every day you get to discover a little bit more about yourself. And I think everything else, business, financial success, scaling, that all comes with it as well. But as long as you pursue that little noise inside your stomach and discover a little bit more about yourself every day, that it puts you and takes you that next step forward. And I've always been a number 1 believer in that.
Which is interesting. Somebody asked me the other day a question. He said, Emil, how do I make $1 million? My answer to them was by not focusing on making $1 million. Because then you're driven by $1 million, not becoming good at the craft that you see yourself in. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
And because if you're just driven by money, you won't go through the pain of actually making business successful. When did you open your first restaurant?
So first, the restaurant of the brand Andonis right now, it's December 2018. But I had 2 years experience prior to that. It's my first ever cafe in this field of work was in 2016. Yes. So I had a couple of years of sort of practice prior to that, and then I decided I want to open up my own brand, follow my own trend, my own style. And yeah, December 2018 is when we opened up the doors to Andonis, the first location. And fast track today, we are where we are at the moment.
So starting your own restaurant, end of 2018, bit over 12 months of trading. Life is beautiful. COVID hit.
Yes.
You just went from, I got cash flow in a business, I got dollar coming in, I can function, then those got shut because you can't have people in your restaurants for a period of time. How did you mentally survive hard times? Because look, all of the businesses, we suffered for a period of time, but restaurant businesses, I feel like they even suffered more because they couldn't physically even take people.
Yeah.
So as a young business owner, I mean, you're still freaking young, but specifically then, just started the business, just started taking, traction, you got put on the hold. How did you mentally deal with that?
Yeah, well, I think obviously, having the fortunate genetics to be a little bit more mentally stronger was a small advantage. But I think COVID was a good, especially being early on in business. You start making your first dollar, your first sale. It's all profit. There's no expenses.
Yes,
you're feeling good. You're on top of the world. You got money. Go out on a date. Go out a weekend away. But I think COVID, and personally for myself and our brand and our team as well, it taught us the number one thing is you need to take good care of your people. And who your people is, your staff members, your teams, and your customers. Because at the end of the day, and what we like to teach employees is none of this is possible. I'm not the man running the show. It's our customers. They're the ones that come into our venues and giving us giving us money for a service, and it all starts with them. We need to prioritize our customers, be genuine with our product, with our customer service or delivery, and after that just follows. Then if you're able to focus on that and really genuinely deliver, it doesn't have to be in a financial manner, but from a customer service perspective, if you look after your customers and your people, you always pull it out and make it out the other end. So it really taught us to take care of the customers, value them, value every single dollar they're giving to us. Because it could not be our venue. It could be another business, another local cafe they could be choosing to spend their hard-earned money with. So yeah, and then we sort of followed that those values, those morals, and stuck to them, and it sorts out to the other end. And on the way, there's a million other lessons as well, about cash flow and how the market and economy can change. But I think that if we focused on customer service, looking after our people, our customers, our employees, and then everything else just sort of came as long as we had that.
One thing I always say to people that in business, it's very, very hard to get business, to get customers.
Yes.
But then don't get excited when you get customers. Then the real work begins, keeping them. Specifically in your or any industry, even industry that I'm in, on yours, if somebody comes for lunch or breakfast or dinner or coffee, if you can get them to keep coming back again and again and again, then you can say I'm running successful business.
That's something my dad, because having a Greek background, hospitality, the jobs that we're mostly in is customer service focus.
Yes.
And my dad always used to say, always still says to date, is like building a business or selling is easy. You can do it once, everybody can pull it off once, but sustaining a business year in, year out, that's where the real balls come into play.
I always say, I got restaurants, Gambaro, for example, run by Italian family in Paddington. Yes. I've been going there for last 17 years. And
why is that?
Well, three reasons for me. One, the food is truly amazing, and two, the customer service is not normal. They make me feel like at home. So they don't just treat me as a client; they treat me like one of the family members. Like if I come to your mom's house, your mom and dad live?
Yes.
If I go to your mom and dad, and you bring me to mom and dad, first thing, the table will be full of food. Yeah. They make me feel like I'm at home, and that's how they make me feel. So they don't just make me feel like as a valuable client. They make me feel as one of the family members. So I feel so special going there. And then my third reason is I became good friends with the owners as well.
That helps.
So which is amazing. But specifically in your restaurant, I always say that in business, people judge you based on the last meal. So, with you, and people can be coming to you for 10 years. And if they have one bad meal, they'll be like, I had a bad meal that time. So you always, on your feet, making sure that you keep delivering.
It's a day.
What would you say at a young age is the hardest thing about business?
Hardest thing about business, I think the number one is having the ability to deal with all the different pressures, the different stresses coming from left, right, and center. Because when you're new, especially in a field of work that you maybe just starting off in, you're learning, you're still adapting, you're learning, you're growing. So there's not only is this pressure from your shop fronts, from your team members, from your office, from your solicitors, accountants. There's also like internal from your household as well. Because to do anything great, it requires a lot of time. To build up a business, you got to sacrifice, you got to devote your soul to it. There's no you time anymore. It's 7 days a week.
You're the last person that's important.
Yeah, you're the bottom of the ladder.
Yes.
So you got to take care of everybody around, especially at home as well, because it's important to sustain a healthy relationship in your household, your parents, siblings, family, spouses.
Which is people don't see it like that. People see yourself. Anthony is doing well. He drives Lamborghini. And they feel like, you are here, but what the reality is of business, I always say to people, I'm nobody's boss, I'm everybody's assistant.
Yes.
Because one thing we do in business is problem solve and deal with shit.
That's all it is.
And I always say I've been eating that much shit all my life in business that I feel like I smell like one. Because that's what business is. So, you become least important person because now you're responsible for other team members. You employ people, they have husbands, wives, kids, and you take different responsibilities that you have to make sure business functions so they all eat tomorrow.
You're lost. It doesn't matter if you're sick or dying or in hospital, you got to show up, But 100%. I think having the ability to deal with all the different pressures and understanding sometimes it's chaos is okay.
When you made a decision, I want to start my own business, did you think it's going to be a lot easier than what it is?
1,000%, yeah, 1,000%, 1,000,000%, yeah. But luckily enough, our upbringing was always around, once again, the European family. It's work. You didn't have work ethic. So from a young age, we were exposed to those environments.
You want to survive, you got to work.
100%, yeah. But even when you are exposed to those environments, the second you step foot and do something for yourself, it's a whole different feeling. It's a whole different world, and
there's no going back.
It hits
there's
you.
No
There's no going back. Yeah. You can either stop, you can either give up, or you're going to take on that road and keep going forward and take on everything that comes your way. 100%.
Because one thing I always preach to younger generation is it's not going to be easy. There's no way any business owner, if you ask them, is business easy? They're all going to love what they're doing, but it's hard to get it to a certain point, and then it's hard to keep maintaining it as well. And for any new person that is starting their business, I always say your enthusiasm, your motivation is up here. Your excitement is up here. You want to conquer the world. I'm starting my business. And then quite often disappointment comes. Like, oh shit, I got so many bills. I'm not bringing that much business. And then the art comes to the importance of, if you can survive that mental dip of, business is hard, but I'm enjoying every moment of it, and I'm just going to keep moving forward instead of quitting.
1,000%. And I think that's all it is. There's no difference. There's no difference to like somebody like, I don't know, like myself and somebody that's where I want to get to. All it is just consistency, just making the decision you're going to pursue what you're doing. And I think that's a whole different topic. You got to choose something and stick to it. It's like you chose real estate, you stuck to it, you go to the end. And now at the end of it, you can afford to sort of venture off to different aspects and different avenues, maybe with the same realm or the same industry. Like people they'll start something, it doesn't work after a year, they'll jump over here, it doesn't work, they'll jump over here. In 10 years time, they're doing the exact same thing. As opposed if you stuck to maybe the long-term business from year one and stuck it out the second, the third, the fourth year, in 10 years, you could have had a franchise or whatever.
Don't forget, it's a lot easier to quit than to make it.
100%, yeah.
It's easy.
It's very
because
easy.
If me and you start a new business tomorrow, and 3 months, it's hard. Quit.
Yes.
2 seconds, we out.
Yeah.
2
it's
seconds.
not working out. Yeah.
To keep fighting and adapting to changes. In your case, it was COVID. When COVID hit, the easy thing that you had was shut everything, go back and work for somebody else, and no stress. But moving forward, in middle of the COVID, when you don't know what the fuck is happening the next day, that takes certain amount of strength to keep pushing to unknown, because you didn't know if COVID is going to last 3 months or 30 years. I had no idea. It's not like, if there's a recession, at least in 5 years time we might see better times, but with COVID it was so dangerous. So I always say in business, the easiest thing to do is give up. Same when it comes to people looking for job. When people come to me for work, I have one question. How many jobs you had in the last 5 years? A lot of them would be excited to tell me, I had 20 jobs. I always tell them, I need you to lie next time. Lie. And I'm not encouraging lying, because if you tell me I had 20 jobs in 5 years, for myself as a business owner, you showed me there was no loyalty through good time or bad time that in a business you were in. You never even gave it a chance to see if it can work. A little bit hard, I quit. And same in a business as well. Specifically, these days, social media has changed a lot of things. Before, when I was growing up, I'm 44, I'm a little bit older than you, or a lot. When I was growing up, you couldn't see Lamborghini anywhere. You might see one Ferrari Lamborghini that would drive. And only other way you see it, the only other way you're exposed to Ferraris, Lamborghini, if you watch TV, movie, because there was no social media. Right now, you got post of your car on social media, me and a million other people. So you're constantly exposed to luxury of life of social media. And a lot of new generation is, not many of them are prepared to sacrifice year after year after year to actually make something, and they all think it's going to happen overnight.
The biggest thing. I think a lot of people, they have access to social media, how easy, this imaginary lifestyle, how easy and cushiony everything is, but the reality is, a lot of people don't understand the value of what it means to earn $1. the sacrifice of what it is to earn a dollar. Once you have a bit of experience of what it means to earn something from scratch and genuinely earn it.
That's when you want to spend it, it's like, oh, am I spending this dollar wisely?
Yeah. But when you know the pain together, you understand. You feel for it.
Yes.
So therefore, when you got to make a decision, it's second question. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So once you understand what it takes to get something, you're a little bit more understanding in many different aspects.
Looking back from where you are today, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to open a restaurant tomorrow?
Restaurant tomorrow. My advice is generally knowing that you're going to devote and apply yourself to it 100%. You got to sacrifice yourself to whatever it is that you're doing. And for this instance, restaurants, the hospitality sector that I myself is in. But you got to be the one thing. You don't have to be certain on your fit out, on your menu, on your team just yet, on your location. But you need to be certain that you're going to apply yourself and apply yourself from the rough times, which is going to be a lot of the first 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. But just knowing that you're not going to stop and you're going to work through every problem. And if you do that and if you stick to that, it's how many times can you fail or drop down 1, 2, 100, 200. There's going to be a time where you're going to get up and you come up to the top. So it's just if you're going to choose something, you got to choose it and stick to it through it all, through all the bad times and shit times.
What would you say is the hardest thing about running a restaurant?
The hardest thing, it's just like any industry. But I think hospitality, as opposed to a convenience store, you're selling Red Bull in a convenience store. It's packaged, it's got an expiry date, it's in a fridge. As long as your fridge is not down, it's fine. As with food, you're working with real life customers and real life stock. Like meat, it goes off. It's very sensitive. Anything in the food category, it's sensitive and perishable. So therefore, there's a lot more risk. You're exposed to a lot more risk. Even with like labor costs. If your store is not busy, like your manager needs to really be onto it and make sure that they're sending team members home, so watch the labor costs as well. Because if you got a team rostered on for X amount of sales, you don't meet those sales, your labor's off for that, you made no money. So it's an hour by hour sort of transaction. So you got to be onto it. There's a lot of risk factors, a little bit more risk factors than maybe a different field of work.
So basically, commitment.
You got to be committed,
If you're not committed,
24/7,
you can't just say, I'm going to open a restaurant, I'm going to hire 10 people and go on the beach, they're going to work. You got to be there.
That's the thing. You don't pretend you're going to open up a venue, you're going to book your first yacht holiday away, or you're going to go to Dubai and drink cocktails. No, it's not. You're telling yourself you're signing your own jail sentence for the next 5 years.
Well, I think I always say, any time I see business owner complaining about business they're in, I always say, hey buddy, let me remind you, you signed up for this.
Yes.
You signed up for owning 1, 5, 25, 100 restaurants. Anything in between, all the hard times, you chose that.
You chose it. Nobody cares, nobody wants to listen.
Nobody gives a shit about your problems. Deal with it, move forward. How much value do you put on your time?
That's the biggest thing, I think, especially now.
Because yesterday you were 20, now you're 28.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. Yesterday I felt like I was 20 today.
And the bad news is tomorrow you're going to be 44 my age.
We'll go, blink of an eye. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I think you can 100% understand when I say this. Very early on, you discover and you learn money has nothing to do with it. It's all. It's about your time. Your time is the biggest asset in business and your private life as well. So the more you try to grow in business, the more you value your time. So therefore, the bigger the team around you becomes. Because your time is the number one priority to pursuing the dream and the ambition, a little feeling inside your stomach we discussed about. So you learn, maybe attending certain events that were of no benefit to you, you got to cut that down. Sleeping in those extra 1 or 2 hours that didn't benefit you, you got to cut that down. Hanging out with maybe a group of social friends that don't necessarily benefit where you're at this present time, you got to cut that down. You got to free up your time and apply it to what's beneficial for you. And it's a lot of people take offense to that. But the older you get and the more serious you are about your commitments in life, you got to value your time. You got to value your time and apply it to the fields that's going to grow and blossom your life and your goals.
There's one thing for sure: clock doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. I've heard you say that before.
It doesn't stop.
It keeps ticking.
I think that my life has changed a long time ago when I really truly understood the meaning of fucking time. Because the reality is we are only tourists on this planet.
Yeah.
Because you can ask any Is your grandfather alive?
Grandfathers, unfortunately, no.
Grandma?
Yes, both of them.
How old are they?
One's, I think, 94, 95, and the other one in the 80s.
If you go and ask your grandma, who's 94, 85, or whatever age, if you ask them, how fast did life go? They're not gonna tell you, son, took forever.
No.
They're all gonna say,
Too fucking quick.
like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I keep preaching to every human, use your fucking time wisely, because before we know it, we're gonna be age of your grandma, or before you know it, we're gonna be like your grandpas and my grandpa, 10 feet under.
Yes, yeah.
And he's not going back from there.
And if that doesn't motivate you enough to do what you need to be doing on a daily basis, not even in business, in life as general, you know, I can't understand
what else would.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, you got to be careful how you use your time as well, because at age 20 to 30, that's the time just be bulletproof. Fuck up, fine. Keep fucking up. You know, you got time.
And I think with social media nowadays, it's so publicized and it's so normal. 20 to 30, it's time to party and enjoy.
Yes.
Fuck no. 20 to 30, you have all the time in the world. You have no responsibilities. You have no commitments. You have no kids. You have no family. You're not married. You can work 7 days a week. 20 hours a day.
I don't have kids now, but you know, my brother's got fourth kid coming now. You know, once you have 3-4 kids, you know, for you to start business then and open 5-10 restaurants,
it's a lot harder.
You know, it's a lot harder because you know you still want to be father. You still want to see your kids. Now you don't have kids.
I got a little boy, 3 years old.
You got a little boy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit harder because you got to spend time with him as well.
100%.
You know? So sacrifice you're probably gonna make for his future is spend maybe less time with him, which is not easy for you as a father to be away from. You know, so anybody in the early 20s, just go for fucking life.
Yes.
Great to see you doing well, man. And you know, it's not easy to run any business, not alone to have 5 restaurants and have 3 more coming. What's next?
What's next? A good question. Our plans is to go Australian wide. So we say that, and a lot of a few people would laugh about it or sort of question it. But like I said, it all falls back down to myself making that commitment to I'm all in, 100% in. Because like you mentioned before, I could have stuck with one restaurant. I could make more money from one restaurant than I am now because growing is it costs is expensive. But I think I'm determined. I already have the feeling inside of me of what it's going to feel like when we do get there, because I'm 100% certain it's going to be a few stressful years. I'm going to lose a bit of hair, but I know for a fact that
they'll go grey as well. By the way,
but we get there. Yeah, but Australian wide is where we plan on taking the brand.
So, which is interesting what you just say, because if you have one successful restaurant or real estate office or whatever it is, so it takes time for you to get to the certain level, but then you're doing okay. You're making whatever the business is going to make. But when you're constantly growing, that means all the money you're making, you keep investing. You're opening number 2, number 3, keep making a little bit more, number 4, keep making a little bit more, number 5. And while you are climbing the mountain, it's like if you want to go climb Mount Everest, you're only going to feel great and rested when you stop. But while you're climbing, it's just still hard work, non-stop, So I think, that's why I always say to people, if you're going to fucking climb and keep expanding, well, you need to make the journey fun. Because you're not going to see fucking dollar till you sell your business or till you say, you know what, I've got 40 restaurants now and I'm not growing anymore. I'm just going to reap the fruits of what I have grown. Till then, enjoy the fucking journey. Because, the money you're not going to see much because it's constantly in expanding your business before you start taking lot out.
But that, very, very valid point. You got to make chaos the norm. You got to find normality amongst the chaos because it's every day. And if you're stressing out every day, you won't last long. You'll last a month, a year, but that's it.
You have no choice but not to stress, because your responsibilities and your problems every day, they're going to be there regardless of you pulling your hair out or not. They're going to be there. Your stuff are there every day. Your issues that you have every day, that I have, they never fucking go away. So with me, I have brainwashed myself to enjoy solving problems, to enjoy dealing with shit, to enjoy entire process of running my business. So I can't allow myself to stress, because if I fucking do, I'm not gonna solve any problem that I have better. It's gonna be worse because I'm stressed. So now I'm in a mentally, whatever issues, that's okay. I'll deal with it.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna fucking smash it so I can feel even better afterwards. Otherwise, what is the point? You'll have a fucking heart attack at age 28.
Yes.
And you don't want that. They'll need you longer. It's been a pleasure having you, man. I look forward to Tim's got a quite few questions for you where people can even learn lots more. But it is inspiring being 28, doing what you're doing. I hope that a lot of people that are always watching interviews like this, they can say, yeah, he does have a Lamborghini, but fuck, it's not easy to do what he does. It's taken him, some time and pain to be doing what you're doing. So it's
100%.
inspiring.
And that's all it is. People being exposed to the truth. For too long, social media has sugarcoated and painted everything. But I think once people that with these dreams, are exposed to the reality, they're a little bit more
Big difference
educated.
between reality and dreams.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I always say to people, if people can truly stand in front of the mirror, look at themselves and ask themselves questions, their life will change. Because I can take a photo in front of Lamborghini and pretend that I own one. If I look at myself in the mirror, hey, Emil, do you have a Lamborghini? Fuck no, I don't have a Lamborghini. Or I do have it, or whatever. So you can so much bullshit to yourself by taking selfie in front of Lambo. Go and fucking earn one.
Yeah.
Then when you take that photo,
go in their journey. It will mean much. Once again, it goes back to understanding the value of earning something. Once you go through the work to buy a dream car, when you're finally driving out the dealership, the feeling, that's all. It's not the car. That feeling that you get is the number one reward. The car's just it's an ongoing luxury. You know what I mean?
Correct. And my favorite feeling was when I purchased my first car that I paid $6,300. It was like 10 years old Corolla. I thought that was a fucking Lamborghini for me then.
The feeling inside of it, yeah. Because
I was like, man,
that's $6,000.
And I remember I had this is interesting. I had $6,300. And the car that I wanted, it was $7,000. And I was so excited that I got it for $6,300. And my friends, they said, are you excited because you're a negotiator? You're a good negotiator. You got him down from $7,000 to $6,300. I was like, no, man, I was excited because I didn't have any more money.
Any more value flash. There you go.
That was all I had. But it's been a pleasure having you.
No, thank you. It was an honor to meet you.
Thank you. Great.